All right, guys, you got to finish the evens for homework tonight. I'm just going to go over each section again just in case you need reminders, some key information. Um, number two here, remember this less than, I'm going to do a different color, sorry. Less than is a turnaround word. So I know this is saying 1, and then we have twice the number. Twice the number is 2n. We're going to let n be our number, our variable for n, or our number. So when I see less than or basic, mainly when I see this word, this indicates I need to turn the order around. So instead of putting the 1 first, this is a turnaround word. So this would end up being 2n first, then 1 less. Less is subtraction. So 2n minus 1. Okay. So on number 4, again, it says 5 more than the quotient of a number and 8 is 42. So this more than, again, that word right there is a turnaround word. So the quotient of a number and 8, quotient is division. So this would be n over 8 plus 5 is equals 42. Okay, so this is when we should be using our blue foldable and the extra examples to help prepare for this section. So I do want you to try to finish these. We have, this is, remember, excuse me, when you get down here to the last 4, 9 through 12, these are all inequalities that we're working on, okay? So then on topic 2, this is our white foldable and our doodle notes. Here's when we're going to start combining like terms. We want to start with the highest exponent. We have no exponents here. And then we want to use alpha order, so alphabetical order. If I look, I have a 7x here. Remember, when we're combining, we need to pay attention to the sign in front of the variable as well. So this is really saying 7x minus this 3x. If I combine those together, 7 plus the negative 3, this will end up being 4x. Then I'm going to go to my y's. Use your sign in front, negative 4y and a negative 8y. When I combine those, this is a negative 12y. And last is always our constants. Our constants are the numbers. This is a negative, I'm just going to go green, sorry, negative 8, okay, and plus 12. When I put these signs together, I'm left with plus 4. And then that's our final answer right there. So here we're just combining, but when we go to the next page, now we have to remember to distribute first, then combine. So like on number 16 here, I'm distributing, the parentheses is indicating distributive properties. To get rid of those parentheses, I have to distribute the number in front, this 1/2, to each term, and pay attention to our sign. So basically this is saying half of 4x, that would be 2x. Then half of a negative 6 or minus 6 here, that would be negative minus 3y. And then half of this minus 8 and minus 4. We keep everything else, the minus 3x plus y. Now we're combining like terms. We take this 2x and this minus 3x. That's going to leave you with just a negative x. Now some people want to put 1, but you don't need the 1. You can just put negative x. Then we have our negative 3y and our plus y. So when I combine these, I'm going to be left with negative 2y. And then right here we see our last term, which is always a constant, meaning a number, minus 4. Now, if you have 2 sets of parentheses, like we have here on number 18, just boxing that, we have to distribute each one. On the first grouping here, first set of parentheses, we're distributing the 9. And on the second one, we have to remember if there's not a number in front, what is that number always? Yes, it's an invisible 1. We'll fix that. So we're going to put an invisible negative 1. I'm thinking that as a negative 1 here that I'm going to distribute. So if I do the first one, 9 times x is 9x. 9 times is minus 3 will be minus 27. Then I'll go to the next grouping. Negative 2 times x gives me a negative x or 1x. Negative 1, I said negative 2, sorry. Negative 1 times that x gives me that negative x. Negative 1 times this 2 gives me negative 2. Now we are combining like terms. 9x and this minus x, total of 8x. And then negative 27 and a negative 2, negative 29. Okay, so pay attention to your signs. Okay, make sure we're not making sign errors, especially when we distribute. So like on 20, this negative, this is two negatives here. Negative 3 and a negative 2 makes that a positive. Just remember we don't mess up on that. And then there was a typo here. It says triangle, but it's for the rectangle, and we're still doing perimeter. So perimeter is adding up the sides, kind of like we did on 21. We need to remember in a rectangle, this side, opposite sides are congruent. So this is still 2v plus 13. And over here, this side here, v minus 5 is opposite over here, would be v minus 5. So we just need you to combine your like terms, your v's, and combine your constants, your numbers here. Don't forget about those signs to make sure you simplify correctly. And then our next section is solving equations 1 and 2 step. Here, remember a fraction is indicating division. So the inverse, we need to show inverse operations or the opposite to undo the division. Opposite division is multiplication. So we're multiplying by negative 3 here. That would cancel, leaving me x equals negative 36. Now, if we look at the next section here, I want to jump to number 28, okay? Especially when we have these fractions. Actually, there's 228. Sorry about that. Let's do the first one. So x divided by 2 plus 8 equals 3.
I'm sorry?
Hold on. So the first thing is we always add or subtract the constant. All right, constant, that's what the variable is plus 8. So we have to undo that by doing the opposite. So it's minus 8, minus 8. That cancels. X divided by 4 equals a negative 5. And now this is showing division, inverse of division, undo the division by multiplying. Okay. And this would give us x equals negative 20. Now on the second 28, this fraction here, I just wanted to recap that. Undo the constant, which numbers are constant that we need to undo? Correct 5. To undo that, we're subtracting 5. So now I have 1/3 x equals 7. And when we have a fraction coefficient, to get rid of the fraction, we multiply both sides by the reciprocal, which is 3/1. And this will cancel the fraction here, leaving us just x. But this is the part we have to put in our calculator. And make sure you use your parentheses. So like, let me get my calculator up here. You need to do 7, then parentheses, and we can do 3 divided. If I'm going to do the fraction, let me go back, sorry. You have to hit alpha, y equals, enter, and then 3 on the top, 1 on the bottom, arrow to the right, close the parentheses, and hit enter. But 3/1 is just the same thing as just 3, so you can do 7 parentheses 3, or you can say 7 times 3, because parentheses is showing multiplication. Okay, but make sure we're using our calculator. Check our work, make sure we're on the right track. So x here was 21. And then hopefully on this 30, remember if we have an expression on the top of a fraction, we need to think of this as over 1, make it 2 fractions, and then cross multiply to solve. So try to do 30. And then 32 wants you to translate and solve the sentence below. So here we have 4 more than, okay, that's important. The quotient of a number 3 is 9. That's important. That is my equal sign. For more than, that's part right here is a turnaround word. So we need to bring the 4 to the back and the quotient to the front. Sorry. So the quotient of a number in 3 would be n divided by 3 plus 4 equals 9. And now to solve it, you should be able to solve this because this is a two-step equation. Undo your constant, that plus 4, and then do your inverse of division. All right. So what you have is an option. Don't forget to help prepare. I think it was on putting your different phrases that you need to study and memorize for each symbol or each expression here, like turnaround words, parenthesis words, words for division. Before the test, make sure you rework problems from your class notes. Okay, you can do it in a test environment. Okay, no using of notes. And then check your percentage. But I would definitely do your extra credit quizzes review. So go to quizzes. There's an assignment. It says extra credit. And it is that. It's just extra credit. It won't count against you if you don't do it. But it will help you prepare. All right. Thanks, guys.